Tricky baby. Nummer frequency.
Hey Mzansi, and welcome to Mzansiscene. So every year, more and more people are born to parents of different races. Some very famous people have one black parent and one white parent, or any other ethnicity. Many of the celebs identify with both of their unique cultures. A lot of half-black celebrities have gone on to have successful careers in film, music, sports, and politics. Here at Mzansiscene, we made a list of South African celebrities who are mixed. At number 1, we have Shoma Jozi. Shoma Jozi was born Maya Wegerif in the northern province of Limpopo to a South African mother and a Swedish father. When reflecting on her experience of growing up Tsonga, she said, "It was just growing up. I didn't know there was another way to grow up. It's only in hindsight that I appreciate having been immersed so deeply in my language and the cultural practices of my people, because I see that so many black South Africans of my generation were not." Majosi is a human exclamation mark. Every time she takes the stage, she delivers a high energy performance, and before she hits the stage, she suits up in a colorful Tsonga Shibelani skirt. It might not seem extraordinary that a young woman would choose to wear clothing that reflects her heritage, culture, and people, but for young black South Africans, seeing Shoma Jozi proudly and unapologetically embracing an extension of herself is a bold revolutionary act. She speaks Tsonga, isiZulu, Sepedi, English, French, and Kiswahili, which she learned while living in Tanzania. Before her music career took off, Shaw lived in Tanzania, Senegal, and the USA. When asked what her travels taught her about herself and race, she said, "I've been called Mlungu, meaning white person in the rural areas. I've been called Métisse and 0.5, meaning mixed race in Senegal and Tanzania, and black in the US. I know that culturally I identify as black, Tsonga, South African, but I also acknowledge that by being lighter skinned, I get treated differently to black people who are not half white." Shoma Jozi is also known for her signature cornrows. Many, including myself, frequently flock to her Instagram for style inspiration. On November 18th, she was awarded the most innovative style trophy at the 22nd annual SA Style Awards. On the importance of the celebration of black hair and self-acceptance, she said, "Sometimes I look at a whole group of black women all wearing straight hair on top of their head, and it's so obvious that we haven't fully learned to love ourselves. We are not to blame. Those women are not the ones to blame, but there is definitely a problem." Her advice for women and girls of Africa is to support each other, protect each other, and to not ever drag another woman for the approval of any man, because an elevated position for women will benefit us all. At number 2, we have Miranda Njangase. Everyone knows the talented Miranda. She's an amazing woman blessed with many talents, from acting to singing and even actor representation. Miranda was born in the Free State in the small town of Jagersfontein. Despite her mixed race heritage, she's a very African woman. She grew up in a household that upheld family values and tradition. This led to her having a strong appreciation of her roots. Miranda expressed that she was an angry child. Her mother passed 6 months after she was born, so she was raised by her father. She was the only mixed-race child in the neighborhood. Her father is a white German immigrant, and her mother was a Soto woman from the area. Growing up looking different was tough because people questioned her identity. The more questions she got, the angrier she became. Miranda knew from a young age that she wanted to be an artist. When she told her father, he enrolled her at the Lady Grey Arts Academy in the Eastern Cape, where she did painting, music, and drama. During auditions, she noticed that her appearance was a hindrance. She was one of the few mixed-race actors at the time, and there were not many roles at the time for her. So she started working various jobs to make ends meet, such as in-store promotion and flag bearing during soccer games, until things got better. Even though her career continued to grow through shows like Mzansiscene.com and The Queen, getting jobs was difficult. Most of them were few and far between because of her appearance and casting directors typecasting her. At number 3, we have Trevor Noah. Trevor began his career as a successful stand-up comedian here in South Africa. The Daily Show host has traveled a long way since then. In his book, Born Crime Stories from a South African Childhood, Trevor talks about growing up mixed race, facing prejudice, and learning about survival and a mother's love. Trevor was born in 1984 to a white father and a black mother, which meant his family initially had to hide the truth from the outside world. He was largely kept indoors during the early years of his life, and when he did venture into public with his mother, they had to pretend she was his caretaker. His father could not be seen with them in public. Trevor said, "I was a product of my parents' crime. I was a product of them disobeying the law, and there were prices that we paid for that, but at the same time, I feel like the rewards have far outweighed those, and that's thankfully partly due to circumstances because the country changed so much." Trevor also recounted how he grew up poor, but one of the biggest challenges, he said, was living in a world where he self-identified as black but was regarded by others as mixed race. As it turns out, humor was a way to bridge those divides. At number 4, we have Mzansiscene. Her father is German and her mother is Xhosa. Mzansiscene got into the industry back in 2006 and has since appeared on Generations and other shows, but the nation started noticing her when she was a presenter on Mzansi Magic's Our Perfect Wedding. She was born to a Xhosa mom and a German father. The former Our Perfect Wedding star opened up about losing her mother at a young age, her amazing stepfather, and her absent father. Although the show was a success, Mzansiscene, who is married to musician Shoda, felt that being away from her family was a huge challenge. She said, "My daughters even started complaining. There's a lot of sacrifice that came with doing the show, but it took so much time." The mother of 4 is happy with the family despite not having had a relationship with her biological father. Her mother passed away when she was in grade 10, and her stepfather, who treated her as his own, stepped in and played the role of both parents to Mzansiscene and her 3 siblings. Mzansiscene said, "He has never made me feel like an outsider. I'm so grateful to him even to this day. I'm his daughter and I turn to him for everything. He is my pillar of strength." She also shared the story about her biological father denying her at birth. She said, "He has never been a part of my life. I met him once in my teens. I found his address and went to his house in SK, Johannesburg. When I got there, he was alone and was immediately uncomfortable around me." She added, "I'll forever have a void about that part of my life. To cope, I've learned to forget about him and shut him out of my thoughts." Sarah Langa is a beauty blogger and an influencer who is known for her immaculate fashion style. But did you know that Sarah is mixed race? She was born to a black mother and a white father. Although her parents never married and eventually split, the influencer was raised in Soweto by her mother. Sarah does not like to talk about race much, as she was once involved in a tour over what race she must classify herself as, since she claimed that mixed race or biracial does not exist on application forms. Sarah said she hates when people choose racial categories on behalf of others. Tweeting, "I don't know where people get the right to be labeling other people black, white or colored. It's none of your business, boo, and anyway, who cares?" So how did the tour start? Well, the model told her followers she hated the slaying concept, saying it made people believe they had to be better than everyone else, even if it meant bringing people down to feel worthy. She said, "Who are you slaying against? Life is not a competition. Don't value yourself against others. Your value should be limitless, not determined by slaying." She said this despite her use of the word a month before while showing off her choker necklace. While some slammed her for thinking she's better and being a hypocrite, one of her followers commented saying, "This might be one of the hetero-wisest things I've ever read." The comment left Sarah upset, saying the follower had absolutely no right to categorize her as a black person when they knew nothing about her. Sarah asked, "Am I black, really?" What she was arguing, according to her, was that there was no category for mixed race people, and she just could not allow people who knew nothing about her race to tell her who she was. She further challenged the smart people to tell her what race she was, or should she host a meet and greet so people can stick pencils in her hair. At number 6, we have Joanne Renick. Joanne may have grown up in a black home, but that didn't stop the kids in her hood from thinking she was a white girl and taunting her to speak English. Because of her light skin, people thought she was a coconut. When speaking in an interview, she said she had to learn to shrug off the teasing or it would have broken her. She said, "Because I grew up in a township, there was a whole lot of people calling me white and asking me to speak English. I had to have a good sense of humor about it. You either cry or you laugh." Of course, Joanne wasn't born a yellow bone. She has a lighter skin complexion because of her father. She said, "I grew up with my mother, so I considered myself black. I met my dad when he passed away, but I never got to know anything white about me. The teasing hasn't really stopped, with social media users constantly referring to her as a yellow bone. While Sis survived the teasing, she admitted several years ago that she was envious of classmates who spoke about their dads. She said her mother told her that her father lived far away, that's why they could not see him. When she was older, she even went to Kumulekaya to plead for help to find her pops. When she was older, she even went to Kumulekaya to plead for help to find her father. She said at the time, "I've done well for myself, I am successful, but I feel the need to meet my father for my life to be complete." At number 7, we have Brighton Ngoma. Most people might know Brighton as Quentin Nyati, a character he plays in the famous local soapie Scandal. Although Brighton might not look like it, he has not had a smooth upbringing. However, he did not let his challenges bring him down or stop him from pursuing his dreams. The Scandal actor revealed in an interview that he was born to a father who was a white man from Switzerland and his mother was a black Zulu woman. His father was a doctor and his mother a nurse, and that is how the two met. The actor further revealed that his father abandoned him when he was still an infant and returned to his homeland. Ngoma was raised by his mother and his side of the family. Brighton revealed that he never knew his biological father and that he lost his mother at the age of 17. Brighton said his father failed his responsibility, saying, "Like most fathers, mine chickened out. I never actually knew him. I think he left when I was around 5. He said losing a parent at a young age is difficult. You're forced to grow up and determine your place in the world, but at the same time, you lose a sense of innocence. You become your own parent, often not knowing how to receive or give love." Brighton expressed that because he never had the opportunity of having a close-knit family, he allowed everyone who became close to him to be his family and remained loyal to those people. Now he has a loving, supportive group of friends and his own family. At number 8, we have Angela Sithole. Angela is a well-known actress who has starred in TV shows such as Zabalaza as well as The Queen, where she played Anika, Shaka's sassy side chick. Although Angela has a Zulu surname, she is actually born to an Italian father and a Zulu mother. Angela revealed in an interview with a local publication that her father left when she was still very young and was raised by her mother in Soweto's White City. She also revealed that she was made fun of by children her age because she looked different than them. Angela's love for the performing arts started from a young age, which set the odds in her favor, determined not to allow her upbringing to bring her down, which came with a lot of mistreatment due to the racial mix. Angela is one of the most prominent actresses not just in South Africa, but in Africa as a whole, with a number of acts under her belt. She is known for her roles as PR guru Terry Ramutsetse on Mzansi Magic soapie Zabalaza, as well as a stint in South Africa's romance flick All About Love. The go-getter, who is usually the clown in a circle of friends, actually grew up with local fashion influencer and blogger Sarah Langa after she moved to Yeoville during her high school years. The two hit it off as young girls and became friends because they were both outcasts in the hood and have remained friends ever since. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below and hit the notification bell.